This video is to illustrate the ideas of the stratigraphy and the superposition principle. As you know, stratigraphy is the study of layered earth, and the superposition principle is the idea that the deeper you go down in the earth, the older it is. So I'm going to tell you a little story while I do a little illustration to show you the superposition principle. A long time ago, a young boy sat next to a fire pit in his village to make a new arrowhead from stone. He was nearly finished when a strong earthquake shook the village. As everyone ran, yelling in fear, he dropped the arrowhead. The arrowhead. Someone else kicked the fire, and soon the whole forest and everything around it was on fire. Here are the burnt logs. The boy and his tribe ran for their lives. They survived the fire by hiding in a cave. The medicine man told them that they could not rebuild their village in the same place. Everything of importance to them had been buried, so they did not return. Instead, the medicine man led them to a new place. Each year, wind blew dirt over the fire-torched lands. Here's the dirt. Plants grew and died, and after many years there was no trace of the village. The land was covered by several feet of dirt. Then a young man came with his wife and two little girls on a covered wagon. They built a log cabin. After several years, they decided to go back to the city to live. It was only after they left that the little girl realized she had left her doll and her book. There's her doll. And there's her book. Later, a tornado blew the cabin over. Some of the logs were eaten by bugs and some were taken by passing hikers for firewood, but few remained. Here are the logs from the cabin. Every year, more and more dust was blown over the remnants of the house. Plants grew and died there. It took almost 100 years until the cabin was completely covered with dirt and rock. There's 100 years worth of dirt and rock. There we go. Then a farmer came to the land and decided it would be a great place to raise cattle. He built a wire fence around the land. One day, he climbed over the fence and it tore a button off his shirt. Here's the button that was torn off his shirt. He looked for it but couldn't find it, so he went home. That winter, the river flooded, covered the fence with mud, and killed all of his cows. There's the wire fence that got covered by mud. And his cattle. The farmer went to another place to live. Other farmers moved in and plowed the fields, throwing dust over the land. Storms blew dust over the fields in the winter. Eventually, a road was built over the field. A young girl was riding her bicycle down the road with a bag of tacks. The bike hit a bump, and some of the tacks spilled out. There's the tacks. Spilled out. She stopped and picked them up, but she did not realize that some of the tacks had rolled into a small crack in the road. When the road was paved again, the tacks were covered. The road was paved, and the tacks were covered. When the road was paved again, the tacks were covered, and 20 years later, a skyscraper was built on top of that exact spot. So this is illustrating that if you go down through the time, you'll see on this one same part of the land there are many different civilizations that lived. It started with the boy and his arrowhead, went up to the farmer and his family, and then the next farmer, and you go to today when you have a modern-day skyscraper. So this is to show that over time, many different things are layered upon each other.